You feel the vibe is contagious. Look in your eyes, shit is dangerous.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be me sharing with you guys everything that I experienced in my first trimester of pregnancy, all of the symptoms, and just giving you guys an update. So let's get started. First things first, yes, I experienced nausea and vomiting. That is the most common pregnancy symptom that most women do experience, but not all. Some more severely. And in this case, I did not experience the severe nausea and vomiting, but I did find it very annoying to be nauseated all the time. I didn't vomit a whole lot. I could probably count on one hand how many times I actually threw up, but as far as like the nausea goes, it was consistent every day, 24 hours a day. I did not get any relief from the nausea. I was prescribed nausea medication that I didn't even take because I didn't want to take any medications while being pregnant. I just kind of suffered through it, and I couldn't wait until my second trimester. I was counting down the weeks, counting down to my second trimester so that I can get rid of this nausea and vomiting. And that's if it would have let up, because some women have it throughout the whole pregnancy, some through the first and second trimester. So I was just hoping for the best. Secondly, I want to talk about the fact that I was so emotional, very, very emotional. I felt the pregnancy blues all throughout my first trimester. I was just very sad. I was crying all the time, most of the time crying for nothing now that I think about it. Just little small things, not really knowing how to manage my emotions, and just having so many hormones going all throughout my body, really taking over. I just didn't know how to act, didn't know what to do, but just cry it out. Fatigue, fatigue, fatigue. When I tell you I couldn't, first of all, I never really understood the definition and the difference between being tired and being fatigued. Now I understand. Being tired is nothing compared to being fatigued. I mean, I could not get myself out of bed most days. I had ended up starting class in the fall, which is when I got pregnant, and like retaking some science courses so that I can reapply to a nursing program, and literally like halfway through the semester had to drop the class because I just could not get myself to get up out of bed. I could not get myself to read a lick of anything from a textbook. I just did not want to do anything. One of the worst symptoms that I experienced, which was what I would call fainting spells. What my doctor described it as is that my blood flow was coming from my upper extremities down to my lower extremities, but was having a hard time coming back up, so the circulation was off, and so that was causing me to black out a whole lot. I mean, I must have blacked out, I can't even count how many times I blacked out. I blacked out at work, I blacked out at home, but majority of the time it was at work because I was going back and forth with my management team at work, trying to find a solution on what could help me, be safe at work, be comfortable at work without this reoccurring fainting spells. And so it kind of occurred more than I would have liked it to have occurred at work. And so yeah, I had to kind of go over my boss's head and my boss's head to get what I needed, and that's another story within itself. But I had to find a way to make it comfortable for me. The solution was sitting down in a chair for 100% of the time while I was at work, which my job does require me to stand on my feet 100% of the time. I do work in retail, so it was hard to come by, but I had to even get a doctor's order to have a chair to sit down at work in order for me to continue to work and make money. As far as the fainting spells go, the first time it happened when I was 7 weeks pregnant, which was a scare for us because I literally left work, went to the doctor's office so that I can get checked out. And prior to that, I hadn't had, an ultrasound done because they hadn't scheduled it for me that early. They wanted me to wait till I was at least 10 weeks in order for me to get the ultrasound, and I had already scheduled it, but they ended up wanting me to come in that day. So I went in at 7 weeks, and it wasn't the typical excitement that me and my husband felt going in because we were scared. We didn't know what to think. I had just blacked out at work. We didn't know what was going on internally with the baby. And so when we went in, we had the ultrasound done, we saw the sac, we saw the heartbeat, we were like, yes, like thank God, like everything is okay. And then to our surprise, I saw another sac. Yes, another sac. And I was just so shocked, and I was like, doctor, is that another sac? And she was like, I don't know. And she zoomed in on it, and sure enough, it was another sac. And I was like so happy until I realized I didn't see the little heart flickering, and the doctor confirmed that, you know, it didn't have a heartbeat. And so me and my husband just kind of like dealt with that on our own and kind of like moved forward and just looked to God for the blessing that we did have. That was very, very interesting that it would have been our reality had the Lord said the same, that we would have been parents of twins. And I just thought that was just so interesting. Like, that is just amazing. I think it had a lot to do with the Clomid as well that I did take, because one of the adverse or side effects of Clomid is that you can have multiple pregnancies. So that could have been a result of that. And if you haven't seen my Clomid success story video, I'll link it in the cards above. Go check that video out. I also want to touch on something that I think is very, very important. I did, you know, kind of touch on it earlier when I mentioned that I fainted at work and that I had to kind of maneuver around and go above my boss's head to kind of get what I needed for myself. There's not a lot of employers that have great, you know, options and standards for their employees that become pregnant. So the women that are employed with them, when they become pregnant, there are not a lot of options for us. There are not a lot of things that a lot of employers are willing to do to make us feel comfortable being pregnant and still working. A lot of companies don't like to compromise because by the state law, at least in Texas, they're not required to, especially if they don't have more than, I believe it's like 50 employees. And even then, it's left up to the company to decide what they're willing to do for their pregnant employees. And I just want to say, if you are in the workforce and you are pregnant, do not back down. Do not feel discouraged to ask for what you need so that you and your baby can be safe while working. Do not hesitate to ask for benefits that are possibly put in place, no matter how small, that you can utilize while you are pregnant. Do not allow anyone to discourage you or to make you feel less than while you're working in the workplace. Even if you can't do the same job in the same manner as if you were not pregnant, it's totally fine. Like, everybody's body is different. Some women can work, you know what I'm saying, and not have any problem whatsoever, not complain about anything because they're not experiencing any fatigue, any pain, anything. And I feel like a lot of people want to put everyone in a box and say, well, this person did it, so you should be able to do it, or they did this, so you can do this. But it's not like that. It's not like that for everybody. So never let anybody discourage you or to tear you down because you're pregnant and you're in the workforce and you have special needs at that particular time during the duration of your pregnancy. And that's all I have for you guys today. Please stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, remember, subscribe. You don't want to miss out. I'm telling y'all, you don't want to miss out on these videos that's about to be coming up. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification button so that you know every time I post a new video. Comment down below if you're pregnant and you've had any fainting spells, because that was one that I've never heard of before, like, in my life. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.